What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American, here today to react and continue learning about American things that don't exist in Britain. Part 2! If you haven't seen Part 1, feel free to go check that out, or stay right here in Part 2. I won't tell you what to do, but in Part 1, I kinda had my mind blown by a lot of things I maybe ignorantly assumed were all over the world, including Britain, but they're just American. I never truly appreciated some of the cool, although weird stuff that are just American, and it doesn't exist in Britain. Some of these things really shocked me, like bumper stickers. Bumper stickers. No bumpers. How are you gonna let people know your opinion if you don't have little stickers to put on the back of your car to say weird stuff to people driving behind you? I don't get it. I didn't realize it's just an American thing. Peeps. Oh my gosh. Peeps. Now, I've had some time to process the peeps. I kind of understand the peeps, you know. A disgusting marshmallow, sugary, bird-shaped candy. It does sound kind of American, the more I think about it, but they're so darn popular here. I definitely thought those were all over the world, including Britain. What else? Drive-through pharmacies, that was in part 1 as well, drive-through pharmacies. Possibly a product of American laziness, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. We have drive-through pharmacies, drive-through banks, like you just pull up in your car and get the drugs from the pharmacy. You don't have to get out. Wait, who wants to get out of their car? Go inside and interact with a human. We don't have time for that. But I think Britain should maybe get on the drive-through pharmacy train. It's really quite nice when you embrace the laziness, I'm telling you. And ranch. Ranch. Are you kidding me? How are you even surviving over in Britain? You don't have ranch dressing? What do you put on your barbecue wings when you go to the restaurant? What do you dip them in? What do you put on your salad to increase the calorie count by 1,000 extra calories? But seriously, ranch is so darn popular in America. It is just, everyone is obsessed with it. And I'm kind of proud to learn that it's an American thing, I guess. I don't know about other countries, but I know ranch is not a thing in Britain, which really surprised me. British people, try it, give it a chance. Or maybe not, because then if you will love it, and then when you fall in love with it, you won't be able to get it, because you're in Britain. And if you have it mailed to you overseas, it's probably going to be old and disgusting. Never mind. But I am excited today to continue here in part 2 to learn about other mind-blowing things that I had no idea are just American stuff that does not exist in Britain. So let's take a look.
The cynics among you might...
What is... Okay. Sink waste disposal. Sink waste disposal. Like a garbage disposal. Is that a word in Britain? Is that normal? The sink waste disposal is a weird way to put it, but is it the fact that you can put crap down your kitchen sink and it will just go into the sewer? You can turn on your garbage disposal, which cuts it up inside the sink. Is this not am I missing the definition here?
might think that the transition from ranch to waste disposal was somehow symbolic, but it wasn't. This bit was supposed to come after peeps. But when it comes to practical uses, sink waste disposal units are easily my third favorite discovery since moving to the US. And
this is a US thing? What? Why? Apparently in the US, we have some technology that we have discovered that we haven't shared with the rest of the world, but why wouldn't people in Britain have sink waste disposal? Don't you pour a bunch of, food and crumbs and extra, not garbage, but like extra food waste down your sink and it goes away? What else would you do?
And now you're thinking, ooh, don't leave us hanging, Lawrence. What's 1 and 2? Simple, aircon and bug screens. But sink waste disposals are just really satisfying. You flick a switch, usually on the wall, it makes a kind of sound for a little bit, and then that dissipates as the food gets chopped up and you're just left with a mechanical hum.
Yeah. What? In America, you don't call this a sink waste disposal. Everyone calls this the garbage disposal. And it's built into every sink in America. Like, it is totally standard. Everyone expects to have a garbage disposal. It's a mechanical blade underneath the drain in the sink, and you flip if you put a bunch of food or crumbs or extra food waste, and you pour it down the sink, or while you're cleaning stuff and there's food on the plate that goes down the sink, you flip a switch, and this mechanical blade like spins and chops it all up. It's very satisfying. It sucks everything down, and it just goes away. We don't have to think about it. I've never thought about this until now. Now I kind of appreciate it. So what do you... Now I'm thinking in Britain, what do you do if a bunch of food gets in your sink, in your drain? Does it clog it? Can you just not allow that to happen? I don't get it.
I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, you know. But one thing that's tricky about these things is that if you wake up at 6 in the morning and you haven't had coffee yet, and you go to flick what you think is the light switch, it certainly wakes you up and gives you palpitations and forces another trip to the drive-through pharmacy. But then who gets up at 6 a.m., right? I don't even get out of bed for less than 5 slices of bacon.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, but I can't believe this isn't a thing. Like, let me look up a clip of this. Okay, I pulled up a little example of a garbage disposal here so that you can get an idea if you've never encountered one of these. Yeah. This is kind of disgusting the way this guy's doing it, honestly. Oh, and you shouldn't really push your hand down it like that. You might get your hand, you might accidentally touch the sharp blades, but you get the idea. This person's wasting a lot of food for no reason, but yeah, the food gets sucked down and chopped up and goes away, and nothing gets clogged. That was a really weird video, but the only example I could find on short notice, but there you go. All right, let's keep going. Texas King. I think this is a type of mattress. Otherwise, I have no idea what this is. Is this just a giant mattress?
That would be even more true if I had a Texas King, and that's not Tommy Lee Jones. That is yet another American mattress size that we don't have an equivalent of in Britain.
Okay. I've heard of a California King. I've actually never really heard of a Texas King, but I can kind of use context clues there to figure that out. I don't know how big a Texas King is. It's not a size of mattress people talk about, really, that I've ever heard of, so... This is probably like the least known American thing on this whole list, so.
We've looked at the California King, we've looked at the Alaska King. The Texas King is appropriately smaller than the Alaska King. But it's still huge, clocking in at a frankly ridiculous 80...
Oh my god. I didn't know about any of these. Usually mattresses are just like king, queen, twin, mattress. Wyoming mattress? I didn't know about these. Texas... Alaska. My god, Alaska. How big are Alaskans that they need that mattress? Texas is big. It doesn't look that big next to the Alaska, unfortunately.
Inches by 98 inches. It's about 3 feet longer than your average park bench or Sissy Spacek.
Wow.
Anyway, while we're on the topic of the American lexicon of things, that brings us on to this.
Okay, that was a pretty brief one. That was like the least mind-blowing of the American things that don't exist in Britain. Like, okay, a random-sized mattress, whatever. Garbage disposal. Garbage waste disposal. That's good stuff. I am surprised by that still.
In past videos, I introduced you to the Great Courses Plus. Well, the team behind those...
this is some kind of... ad. I was like, does rocket ships only exist in America and not in Britain? Okay, I'm gonna skip the ad. Here we go. Opossums. Possums. I never understood if it was opossum, because a lot of people say possums, but either way. Possums, now that I'm truly registering what we're talking about, that's an animal. I guess it's an American animal. I didn't know that. Not really an animal that you run into very often in America. I think it really depends on where you live. I'm not even sure what a possum really looks like. It's some kind of rodent or something, right?
Possums, to give them their full name, are a species of marsupial that we don't.
Ah, now I recognize this because they look very funny and always seem to have that exact expression on their face. I imagine this would be pretty alarming for a lot of British people to learn that this is an American animal, and it is, but you just don't run into them at all. Like, very much, certainly in my experience, I can't speak for all of America, but I've never run into a possum. And they're somehow kind of cute, but terrifying at the same time. And this is a good one. This is one where it's like, this is an American thing I did not know. It did not exist in Britain, but it's not that overwhelming to me, because they almost don't exist here in America. I mean, just in some places, so.
Have in Britain, but the opossum, specifically the Virginia opossum, is widely found throughout the United States.
I mean, maybe. And I have lived in the areas he is highlighting, like on the eastern, central and eastern side of the United States, and I have not encountered possums. Like, maybe once. Maybe. Okay.
But that wasn't always the case. You see, one of my favourite facts about possums is that they were only able to migrate from South America to North America once the two continents came together. And this migration, along with a lot of other species, is known as the Great American Interchange, which is not to be confused with the one in Los Angeles.
Possums came from South America. I'm learning some incredible things today. Garbage disposals and possums.
Angeles. Anyway, the only time that I ever heard the word possum growing up in Britain was from Dame Edna. Like, she'd refer to us as possums, which was obviously an Australian term of endearment, at least I thought. Because it turns out that Australia...
Interesting. Here in America, I guess I should say, I'll give possums credit. Every American has heard the word possum. We Americans know possums exist and that they're an animal. And I imagine some Americans know what they look like, just not really me. Because you just don't encounter them very often.
Australia has its own species of the marsupial, and they're not known, at least in America, for being pretty, so I think Dame Edna was trolling us. I learned...
Buffalo wings? Forget the possums? Buffalo wings? What do you mean? This is almost as alarming as the ranch. Almost. Nothing is going to be as alarming as ranch dressing not existing in Britain. I'm still getting over that. Buffalo wings. So, is it buffalo flavored wings? I'm sure Britain has wings. Chicken wings, But is it the buffalo flavor? What even is buffalo flavor? Does that sound really weird to Brits? Because just to make it clear, it doesn't taste like a buffalo, the animal. Maybe it does. I've never had a buffalo. I've never eaten a buffalo. We don't think of the animal, a buffalo, when we think of buffalo wings. It's just like sweet, tangy, almost kind of spicy, flavor, sauce that goes on wings. It's very good. It's very distinct.
Something early on after moving to the US. There are 3 things that you can't go more than a few days without seeing references to. Geico Insurance, Flow from Progressive, and buffalo wings. And the idea of buffalo wings was genuinely confusing at first, because when I think of buffalo, the last thing I think of are flying buffalo. Although...
Yeah, I imagine this would be strange to hear and not know. Buffalo flavor, it can go on wings, but you can just have buffalo sauce on anything, is a very, very popular flavor in America. I never thought of it as an American-only thing, to be honest. Wow.
So that would be amazing. And the end of American society. But no, it turns out that buffalo wings are in fact deep-fried chicken wings.
Yeah.
And I was skeptical at first, partly because I hadn't yet overcome the buffalo confusion. But they're actually quite nice, especially down to the fact that they're covered in hot sauce.
Yes, they're good. There's... This gets a little specific. He's talking about, chicken wings that are buffalo flavored and then sometimes covered in hot sauce. You can also just have buffalo hot sauce or just buffalo sauce. It gets a little complicated. We take the buffalo flavor kind of serious here, I'm realizing.
So why are they called buffalo wings? Well, it's actually quite simple. You know how cheddar cheese comes from the English town of Cheddar?
No.
Well, you do now. Well, buffalo wings are said to have originated in Buffalo, New York. I feel like a right idiot.
It originates in Buffalo, New York. That makes sense because it has nothing to do with the flavor. I think. I've never bitten a buffalo before, never licked a buffalo, but I that's not the taste of buffalo sauce at all.
That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below whether you like eating buffalo wings, ranch, and possums.
Wow, and that's it right there. Wow. Yeah, that was fantastic, honestly. That was very fun, very interesting, this point of view. Like, stuff that I'm familiar with, that I think is normal, finding out that it's not, that we're a bit strange. A lot of these I'm actually really pleased that America has, actually. This was by Lost in the Pond, and I liked it. I gotta give that a big like, because that was really well done. Really good choices of things that truly, except for possums, scratch the possums, everything else here. Seriously, I do genuinely encounter it and enjoy it, like, on a very regular basis. And I truly assumed most of these objects were found worldwide. Like, but with just based on how popular they are here. Bumper stickers, Peeps, drive-through pharmacies, ranch, waste disposal or garbage disposal. The Texas King, okay, apparently that's a size of mattress in America. It's not really talked about. Possums are a thing. Americans know what they are. You don't run into them very much. The buffalo wings, that's a good one as well. It's not as, like, American as ranch, I think. But buffalo flavor, like, you find that everywhere. That is definitely a staple in any restaurant. There's lots of restaurants that are just wing places. There's a chain called Buffalo Wild Wings. They specialize in buffalo wings. So, yeah, just based on that, I have to admit, that's a really good one that I didn't know was an American thing. I don't know. I'm kind of still mind blown by a lot of this. Kind of shocking to learn that there are in fact things here in America. The world does not revolve around us. We do have our own weird little things. It's kind of funny as an American to learn that, because I'm always learning about weird British things that are just British, and now it's like weird stuff to Brits. Stuff Brits think is weird. And now I think it's kind of weird, and I enjoyed this quite a bit. So anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment, perhaps with anything else you have noticed is an American thing that doesn't exist in Britain. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain and British culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.